Hello, my friends. I have a kind of bonus video for you. I want to talk about Domestika because it's one of my favorite things that I do for myself to keep my creativity going, to stay inspired. I love Domestika genuinely, and now that Black Friday is upon us, I just wanted to mention it just because if you can get some deals, why not? I have some affiliate links that I'm going to share with you and all that fun stuff, and a special like discount code that I have received, which is so fun that I can share that with you. But I'm going to genuinely and honestly review some of my favorite classes that I've taken on the site. I think I have taken over 60 classes because I'm slightly addicted. I just love the setup. I'm a Skillshare teacher, as you know, and all classes are, for the most part, we produce them ourselves. I film and edit, and I don't have a whole film crew. I don't have a lighting team. As you can see, like here I have, it's November in Sweden. We don't have much light anymore. I have several lights on, but it's still dark in here. um it's just difficult. So seeing Domestika courses that are professionally produced and they have the same format every time, I really enjoy that myself. Not that I don't like Skillshare classes, but excuse me, it's just pleasing. So I thought that we'd jump into my computer, and I'm going to share with you tons. Are you sharing now? Yeah. Got so confused what I was doing. Here, I'll make myself bigger so you can still see me. And here, yeah, welcome to Black Friday on Domestika. If you use Emma Castina -10, you get an extra 10% discount on all the deals that they're already doing, which is ridiculous. At the time of filming, it's slightly before Black Friday, so they haven't rolled out their huge deals yet. But when I post this video, all their very aggressive, fun deals will be live. So just to let you know that. This is just some extra information. But let's just jump into Domestika and my love for this platform. So here, we set it up like this. Should be good, right? So I just want to mention, yeah, they have tons of deals and packages where you can get here that right now it says 6 classes for 430 kroner. That doesn't help you if you don't know Swedish crowns, but that's like $43. That's nothing. And like I said, the quality of the classes that I've taken definitely over 50, possibly 60, I think. I'm always impressed by the teachers. They're teachers that I've, for the most part, have never heard of. And that doesn't keep me from wanting to take someone's class. Like on Skillshare, I want to know who the teacher is, kind of, because I want to know what quality that they're going to be producing. But on Domestika, I know that they're going to follow the same format that they always do. It's always going to be high quality. It's always going to be interesting. And I love it. So as you may know, for the past year, past 2 years, I've been focusing on building up a children's book portfolio because I'd like to illustrate children's books. And I have taken nearly every single children's book course on Domestika. And I have learned so much because every single teacher, of course, comes with a little tidbit of something to learn, something not only just like the practical aspects of building out a portfolio for children's book, being a children's book illustrator, but also things like the actual way of narrating stories or like creative ways of drawing or traditional techniques or digital techniques and things like that. So it's a very well-rounded way of learning. I really love learning from several different teachers rather than just from one teacher. And like I've previously taken the Make Art That Sells class illustrating children's books, and that was a beautiful course. And I think the price is quite hefty compared to these classes, which are usually around like $10 if you get them on deals. And that one's $500. And I've received the same information from these classes. For the Matt's course, of course, is because of the community, I think really important. But these Domestika courses, you get the same information and or more, I would say maybe, but it's like from several different teachers. Am I making sense? Anyways, if you take 50 classes here, it's the same price as one teacher from Matt's, Lila Rogers. She's an amazing teacher, but being able to learn from 50 other teachers, I really like that. So I want to tell you about starting off with, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Wait a second. Breathe. So I want to highlight 10 of my favorite Domestika classes that have to do with children's book illustration. So I know that this isn't interesting for all of you. I just want to share anyways. And even if it is about children's illustration and about picture books and things, you can still learn so many things about the art, making art and things like that. And that's really interesting to me. I can later on share with you courses that I've learned a lot more techniques for just illustration based. But I unfortunately can't do a whole video really about surface design because I do actually think that Domestika is lacking the surface design courses. Maybe I should pitch to them and do a course. I think that would be really fun. I totally could do that. So yeah, let's get started. I want to share my 10 top children's book illustration courses on Domestika. So to start off with, my top favorite is this class. It's by Emma Maljauka, and she's an illustrator. She uses traditional techniques, and she's originally from Belarus, but now she's living in the Netherlands, and she's become my favorite person. Before taking her class, I didn't really know who she was. I was following her on Instagram, but it wasn't an artist that I was familiar with, really. But since taking her class, this is like the best class that I've taken. It was 3.5 hours, but I feel like she really showed her process. And I think that she has such an incredible way of using her creativity and creative mind to create artworks. She's always exploring things. She doesn't want to like stick to that one thing that she always does. She's always trying to figure out different ways of doing something to match the project that she's doing. And that inspires me so much. This class was all about working in your sketchbook, and that has also been something that I've been really obsessed with for the past year, to like get that practice going again, being able to explore and express yourself and try new things. And this perfect place to do that is in your sketchbook, because it's like a safe space and you can like see your progression as you're like starting out and you're kind of careful, and as you move on, you learn things. And so I've had so much fun in my sketchbook this year, learning so many techniques, and I've learned so much from Emma. And after taking her course, I've gotten like obsessed with her. And I am a patron of hers on Patreon because I just love her. I love her personality and the way that she shares, and then she's sharing like techniques of how she uses her materials and the way that she thinks and how to loosen up your art. So if that's interesting to you, definitely think you should check out her Domestika class. Definitely, if you're thinking about, want to loosen up your art and test out different materials and learn about characters, and just this class was packed with so much information. And I also just really enjoy her style. It's not like how my style is or how I want it to be, but it just has like these elements in it that I want to loosen up my digital style. So I've been working a lot traditionally to understand traditional materials so I can mimic it in my digital work, because I don't want to give up digital work, because layers are awesome. And the redo button, like go back button, is I can't live without that. So definitely check out Emma. And again, with Domestika courses, the structure that I'm mentioning in all the classes, they always start out by like showing their work, and just that video that's a few minutes long showing their breadth of different works and the projects that they've worked on is so inspiring. Then they move on to talk about who influences them. And that, I think, maybe is my favorite section, because I always learn about so many illustrators and artists that I've never heard of, especially different in Domestika. They're really good about, it's not just Americans, it's not just people from Europe, it's people all around the world in different countries, and everybody has different points of references from these different countries. So, oh, it is a delight to learn. And before I move on to some of the other, I thought I'd like stop sharing for a second and let me just show some of a couple pages from my sketchbook, just to show how inspired I have been by Emma. I'm not trying to mimic her, obviously. Well, not obviously, but I'm trying not to, But certain exercises, let's see. Like working with color blobs, just exploring different colors and color palettes, playing with stuff like that. Textures, just trying to come up with different textures and how your materials work and how you are supposed to use them, how you're not supposed to use them. It doesn't matter. You just like test out different things. And that's really interesting to me as a creative person and learning. And I think, and I had this validated during the Skillshare Summit. There was a whole presentation about principles of pedagogy and how people learn. And supposedly before, you thought that learning one specific thing at a time and get really good at that. But supposedly there's been lots of research around learning several things at the same time, and that will develop your skills like even better. Does that make sense? So I've been trying to develop my digital art making skills by at the same time revisiting traditional materials. And to be honest, I 1000% agree that because I'm doing that and playing with traditional materials and learning that over again, because I went to art school 100,000 years ago, that I'm definitely learning how to use my digital materials in a different way, a creative way. And I love that. So that's exciting. My notebook here is full of different class projects from different classes here on Domestika too. Let's see. There's more Emma stuff, like just rocks and playing with textures, and how many different ways can you illustrate a rock? Like, this is so exciting to me. Here's another fun class on Domestika I won't mention now, which is stupid that I'm mentioning it, but not mentioning it. I don't remember which one it was. Sorry. I wanted to share with you. Let's see. No, I need to mention this class now then. It was really cute to create these really funny characters, and they're not something that I think that I would use in my work, but I'm sure that I will. I will look up which class this is, just to not be annoying. But anyways, I have previously been a little like not comfortable with the characters that I'm creating, and now after a year of taking all these Domestika classes, I feel a lot more at ease and happy with how my characters are coming out. There's a little troll character that I'm working on, and I think he's really precious. And the way that my kid characters are coming out, it's more like how I'm envisioning that I want them to turn out. So it's really exciting to see your progress like this. Here's more kits that I've been doing. All right, so I think that's a good little show and tell. But now let's get back into the class. share. Okay, I need to make myself bigger again. So yeah, we talked about MI 100%. This is my favorite class. Okay. And then I promised that I was going to look for that other class that had those really funny characters. It's this one, Fantastical Character Illustration for Children's Books. It's a really with Natalia Colombo, and it's in Spanish. Information. This one was really fun because it was so creative, playing with different ways of materials, and it was just fun to do because sometimes you don't have to learn something just like you're going to be using. That's another thing. I just want to learn different materials sometimes for my fun Fridays that I do. I just want to have fun in my sketchbook. It doesn't have to lead to anything, but I think everything's connected and it will lead to something in the future. It's just like, it's not a technical skill that, do you get what I mean? You can do stuff for fun. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. No, this is being evil. Okay. So here we go. Another class that I really enjoyed on Domestika is this one by Marisa Valdez. And this one was in English. I don't have a problem with listening to courses that are in Spanish or other languages. I almost like it. There are very many Spanish-speaking classes on Domestika. I like it because it forces me to pay attention to what's actually going on. When it's an English-speaking class, I can have it on the background to do something else and be easily distracted and not pay attention. But if it's in Spanish and I'm reading the subtitles, I have to 100% focus on the class, and I feel like I learn better by doing that. I haven't had many problems with the translations. I think that they've been really good and easy to follow. So this was a really good class. I would say that this is a good alternative to the illustrating children's book class. For what does this cost? $15 or something during Black Friday. I thought her work was really charming, and she just presented working with children's books themes in a really accessible and smart way, and to use things that you are personally drawn to and illustrate those things. I also personally really like her style, so it's easier to watch a class with a style that I find inspiring. So I really enjoyed her class. This class was one of the first classes that I took on Domestika for children's book illustration. And this one isn't about how to illustrate, it's about how to interpret stories. And this class kind of blew my mind. It was in Spanish, so I had to 100% pay attention to the translations, the subtitles, but I got so much out of it. She like shows how to turn a story on its head, flip it upside down, think about it from this way, from this way. There's so many different things because I think I'm very used to working very shallow. My work has been surface design work. It's just about being pretty. It doesn't have to tell a story. So this class was eye-opening about how you can take one story and there's a bajillion possibilities for how you can interpret that story. That class is excellent. It was 4 hours long. I love her work as well. So she shows examples from her portfolio and how she thinks. And it's just incredible. Like if you start to think in this kind of way, I think it just like snowballs and you start to think more. So I'm really interested in stuff like this, getting my brain to work a little bit more. It's not always about the visual part, which I feel like comes easy to me. I think I need to work harder on the narrative aspect of my illustrations so that they really come to life and get stories. This is a class that I would love to revisit because it's been a year or two since I watched it. Another class that I thought, excuse me, another class I really liked was this one by Kayla Stark, Experimental Techniques. And again, it appeals to me because I love mixed media illustrations, especially just like I talk about fun Fridays. I love to open my sketchbook, fill my table with my gouache paints and different crayons and colored pencils, and I just want to layer and draw different things. And that was what her technique is. So it's fun to learn in that way. She also showed digital stuff as well. So I enjoyed her way of sharing storytelling and building out a story as well. Sometimes when you sit down with a blank page, it's so difficult, but Kayla made it really easy somehow to come up with your own story. And I like that too. All right, the next one I'd love to highlight is Katerina Sobral, and she's an amazing teacher. She's also an amazing artist, and she's also one of these artists that it feels like that intellectual side of art comes really easy to her. She creates these what's it called? Silent books often. Books that just show a narrative without text. So then you have to definitely work even harder to make sure that the pictures are conveying the mood. She has a very interesting way of making art. It's like printmaking kind of. It's like scratching. Like that's something that I don't want to try whatsoever, but it's still interesting to see how she makes her artwork. It's very different. I'm so used to either traditional media or digital, and this was something else. So I really enjoyed her class. And this just 2 classes on Domestika. I recommend both of them. Both of them were incredible. I loved listening to her talk. Again, when she talked about her influences, she had so many examples from so many incredible books. And yeah, they've prompted me to increase my bookshelf by quite a few books. And then we have this picture book creation course by Flavia Zidrago. And this is also another like a great introduction to picture books as a whole. Like how do you pitch, and what do you need to pitch, and what do you need in a story? How do you like just the fundamentals of picture book creation. And she also has a really inspiring style. I thought her technique was like slightly irritating, because she does everything for hand, but then she goes in and painstakingly like changes everything digitally. And like that doesn't make sense to me. I'm just like, just draw it digitally. But that's what she wants to do, and she feels connected to her traditional materials, and that's cool. But she was also a very skilled teacher and shared in a very smart way. And I really enjoyed this class. It was also in Spanish, but I had no problem with understanding anything or following along. Excellent class. And then the last few classes I wanted to highlight were specifically about character design, and I think that's such a huge part of working with picture books or children's illustration, is being able to create characters that are interesting. I have, again, because I've worked with surface design, it's so flat, it's so like decorative, it's just so pretty. So having to like grunge up my characters a little bit, get them to look like they're moving or actually alive, has been a process, and I'm still working on that. This class was really good. She just like, I feel like she was kind of like expert level, and she had a little bit of a hard time to bring it down to beginner level. She's like, just draw like this, draw a character, and you're like, okay, but she was amazing anyways, just to show her. You just seem like such an expert, and that's fun to learn from. Another class was from Valentina Toro, and you can just tell that she's just like lives and breathes picture books and character creation. She's been doing this like her entire life, like since she was born. She's so inspiring, and she like knew what she was talking about when she was talking about different characters and books, and I love her style. as well. The characters that she creates and the way that she creates them is interesting as well. She does a lot of things with just pencil and then digital coloring. I think that's an interesting technique. So there's always like these tidbits that you take from every class. Yes. Excellent class. She has 2 classes here in Domestika. Take both of them, 100%. There's only out of the 60 classes that I've taken, there's only one class that I was just kind of underwhelmed by, and it was mainly because I personally didn't vibe with the teacher, and that's just a personal thing. I just didn't get her, you know? And that can happen. Another amazing class was this one by Lorenzo. It was in Italian, which is obviously incredible to listen to. But he really broke down character design and getting movement and expression in characters. And I really enjoyed this class. I have filled one of my sketchbooks with lots of character designs from his class. Just so important to learn how to do all these gestures and change your characters so they're not always just like standing there, just like posing. You want to make it look like they're not posing, like you took a photograph of them in the middle of doing something. And he works with traditional media, which is always interesting to me. And I love learning about that. Next up, last but not least, I love this class by Jimena S. Sarkis. This one was in Spanish. She also has several other classes that are in English. She's also, you can just tell that she's been doing this for a very long time. She's incredibly knowledgeable. She made working with like anatomy on characters and stylizing the human body, made that really easy. Also lighting and things. I'm not sure if it was this class or another one. Just like she made it just seem so easy. And that's really a delight to watch because you don't want it to feel like a struggle creating illustrations. So yeah, those are my top 10 children's book illustration courses on Domestika. I've learned so much from them. I've taken little tidbits from some of them that I bring to my actual digital work. Some are just for play in my sketchbook. All of the classes have inspired me and motivated me in some way to keep drawing and pursue this dream of being a picture book artist. And it's really interesting. It does feel like an identity change, which is really weird because I've been this like surface design and these very pretty illustrations have been my thing. And then like trying to be something else, even though it is within me, it just feels like I'm changing my identity, and it's just a whole process. So yes, if you're interested in any of these classes, I will make sure to leave all my affiliate links so that, yeah, I can get a little percentage if you purchase something, because why not? And then, of course, remember to use my code EmmaChristina/10, and you get 10% off even more of the discounts that are already going on. And I'm really excited for you. Also, because I am loving Domestika, let me know if there's any classes that you think I should take, because I most likely need to take them. Okay, stop share. Thanks so much for watching with this with me. I hope that you enjoy this kind of content too, because I'm obsessed with learning myself. I'm constantly trying to learn more things. I want to get better, not just at what I'm doing like in a day-to-day life, my surface design artwork, but I'm trying to do this side project of my kid book illustrations. And then like a side project is just like, yeah, my sketchbook work. I'm just having fun using materials and like, like I talked about, that learning different things at the same time, they like all nurture each other and help. Like as a whole, I feel like I'm so much more creative now that I've started to use traditional materials after taking so many classes, like on a not a daily basis, but on like a monthly basis. Domestika, I've tried to like calm myself down, so I take one class per month. Otherwise, I go nuts. So I signed up for the Plus program where you pay a yearly fee, and you get one class credit per month, so I can buy one class per month. And that's like helped me not to just, because I've purchased several and I don't watch them, and that's just stupid. So I really like pick out a class that I want to watch. I focus in on that. I do the exercises in my sketchbook, and like I bring whatever that was to my art or my practice or my creativity or the way that I think. So yeah, I think I am losing my voice, so I need to sign off now. But thank you again for listening. I love sharing with you guys. Bye. And then the awkward one. Oh, where's the stop?